Wow. Mother Earth, Earth Day.
Yeah.
My medicine priestess here. I just want to take a moment because I wrote this down and it was such a beautiful introduction that don't mind me while I read just for one moment. So now I'd like to take a moment to introduce one of my most beloved sisters and allies, one of our quarantine members. She is the Jane of all trades in the healing realms, from sound healing, acupressure points, massage, food nutrition, herbal knowledge. She uses her ever-growing knowledge and intuition to guide others on their path to healthy, happy wholeness. She has been one of my healers for over 8 years now. Yep. I've turned to her with various health concerns and questions. Each time she offers me a deep understanding of what I may need, and her recommendations have almost always proved successful. So I'm grateful for that. I trust her with my family's health and well-being, and I'm so happy to have her with us here today. It was with great pleasure that I introduce Kumara Flor. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here today. Yeah. So before we dive into a Q&A, we just wanted to be clear and remind everybody that Kumara spent lifetimes as a healer and a medicine woman, but she is not a medical doctor in this life. And all of the information that we share on today's call is only information. You can take it and leave it for yourself, but utilizing info at your own risk, basically. You want to be mindful that they are not medical recommendations or prescriptions. They are only suggestions for you to have. So, yeah. Little disclaimer there.
Disclaimer.
Awesome. So I know you have a lot that you want to share today. And why don't we just get started with what you want to share first?
Okay. Yeah. There's a few things that I'm going to be going over. But mostly I'm going to be working with different types of practices that we can do for our body. A lot of people, there's a wealth of herbal knowledge coming out right now about what helps to bolster the immune system and respiratory system and things like that. But I'm going to focus mostly on daily practices, weekly practices, things that we can do to ourselves. Since most of us are by ourselves right now and we don't have a lot of human interaction. And so I'm going to start off with the skin.
Great. The biggest organ in our body.
Biggest organ in our body, and the stronger, the healthier our skin is, the more protected we are in our bodies. And so when our skin is healthy and strong, then our immune system can get a little bit, we have that more protective layer going on.
Yes, that's very important.
And so one of my daily practices that I do every single day is abhyanga, is oiling my skin. And some of the things, the benefits of abhyanga are that, of course, it moisturizes our skin, it lubricates our joints, it helps to calm the nervous system, which is really super important for a lot of us because we live stressful lives,
stressful times.
Yeah. So skin oiling and abhyanga in Ayurveda is a really good practice to do on the daily. For keeping your and you also get that touch. It's a really good time to do that self-love, that self-care, really putting some intention into yourself to start the day off or end the day off, however you choose. It's very good, as I said, it's really good for sedating the nervous system. So some of you that have sleep disorders, it's a nice thing to do before you go to bed to help relax you.
Lube yourself up.
It's also very, lube yourself up. It's also very vata balancing. So if you have a lot of air going on, it helps to balance the vatas, but ultimately it helps to balance all of the doshas. It helps to just, balance your body out. So if you don't have a lot of time, in your day, which is, you know, we're not right now, but
we have more time now.
This is a good practice to start right now because you have so much time in your day. And if you get to the point where you don't have a lot of time in your day, to at least for Vata people to focus on the lower parts of the body, for Pitta, the middle parts of the body, and for Kapha, from the shoulders up and the head and the neck and the upper parts of the body.
Now, those are Ayurvedic terms.
Those are Ayurvedic terms.
Okay, so how can somebody find out if they are Kapha,
some of
Pitta?
these things that I'm going to tell you about, you can go ahead and just for time's sake, because I'm going over so many things, you can go ahead and just research that on the internet.
Okay.
But you know, Vata is air, Pitta is fire, and Kapha is earth. So, you know, you can kind of look at a body and you can go on the internet and it'll tell you different distinctions about your body that will tell you
if you're more one or the other.
Yeah, more one or the other. Most of us kind of are double doshic or tridoshic, and kind of just have one a little bit more than the other.
Varying degrees.
Varying degrees, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
And what do you use for the skin?
Well, that's exactly what I was getting
to
next. You always want to use cold pressed oils. You don't want to use anything that has been what is that called? Refined. You don't want to use refined oils. Refined oils block the pores of the skin.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why you always want to do cold pressed oils. So for you can use kind of a variety of oils, anything from coconut, black seed. Black seed is really good for Vata. So Vata helps to calm the Vata energy. I love black seed oil personally myself. It also has very amazing medicinal properties to it. I like to do a blend of different oils. For Pitta, things like coconut and sunflower. For Kapha, things like castor oil and safflower oil are really good. So you can also do a blend of oils and put different flowers or herbs in them and cook them a bit and create a medicated oil for yourself. My favorite oil that I'm using right now happens to be butter.
Yes! Oh, yes.
So usually
unsalted butter.
Unsalted butter.
Yes, she recommended this for me weeks ago. It's a miracle.
But what I found is I've always had and happen to have very, very dry skin. And so I started using ghee a long time ago. The ghee has a pretty strong smell to it, so I've just switched to butter.
Butter, you gotta butter your body, baby. Yeah, and it's great for eczema, right?
Yeah,
and other
I
skin
wash
conditions.
My hands. You know, I'm a caregiver as well and a massage therapist, so I wash my hands all day long, and I get
especially even more.
Yeah, especially even more, and I get dry cracking on my fingers and around my nail beds, and I started using butter several months ago, and I mean, my hands are soft. Soft. I also put it on my feet. My feet get really dry and cracked, and it's been like the best thing that I've ever used, and I've used pretty much every single thing that you could use out there.
You said it's pretty antifungal too, like people with athlete's foot or
it's very antifungal.
Cracking skin.
It's also great for any sort of viral outbreaks like shingles and herpes, cold sores, things like that. It really helps to heal those things and stop them in their tracks instantly.
Amazing.
So,
butter, who would have thought?
Butter.
Salted butter.
But there's, you know, you can, for me, I like to do my oiling after the shower. When I get out of the shower. Whether that's in the daytime or the nighttime. For me, because my skin is so dry, I do my oiling after the shower. For people that have more pore issues and more of that, you know, if you're in a humid area in the tropics or something like that, what you would want to do is your abhyanga, your oiling before you take a shower.
Okay.
So that you might even want to do a bit of exfoliation afterwards.
So it doesn't clog the pores?
So it doesn't clog the pores.
Got it.
Which brings us to our next skin practice that I love, and that's skin brushing. But before we get to that, I want to talk about how we do abhyanga.
Okay, yes, please.
So you're going to be putting the oil on your body, and most abhyanga just goes along the long bones of the body. You're going to be stroking on those long bones of the body, and always towards the heart. You always want to stroke towards the heart. Pretty much every single time you're doing any sort of massage.
Same with the brushing too.
On yourself or anybody else, because we want to help improve the circulation. What I like to do is a little added acupressure with my abhyanga. So what I will do is I'll generally start at my feet, and I'll make sure that I get in between my toes really good, and I'll do like a little scrubbing. I'll do it on my fingers, but I'll do like a little scrubbing in between my toes, and these are the lung points in foot reflexology. So these are the lung points, and these really help to stimulate the lung points in the body,
which is great right now.
Which is really good for us right now. And then I'll go up my legs, and I'll hit my stomach meridian points, and I'll go through and I'll just do a little scrubbing here. I got my special pants on so that I can show you. And so I'll do like this. And so I'm hitting my stomach points. And all the different meridians in my body, and I'll go all the way up, and then I get up to my belly, and so this is continuing stomach points, stomach meridian, and I'll go up, and then I'll do some brushing of lymph towards my boobs, and get that lymph going really nice.
That's great for us women, and who are especially in breast cancer age.
You're really getting some nice lymph movement going on. And then I'll go along my back, and I'll maybe even do a little chi packing on my kidneys. And how you do that is you cup your hands. You can get a little chi packing going, and I'll do nice strokes all the way up my back, and then I'll do my arms, and I'll do my lung points, which is pretty much on the top part of the arm here. And then I'll go up my neck, and always up on my face. You can get that. We even have, sinus points and things like that we can get. And then I'll get my ears, because our ears get a lot of sun damage. And we really want to make sure that you get some protection on your ears there. And I've even noticed with the butter that a lot of the sun damage that I had for years of gardening, it really helped to heal that. And in my skin too, my hands were pretty sun damaged. My hands and my arms were pretty sun damaged from years and years of working out in the sun. And it really helps to tighten the skin. And that was one of the first things I noticed after about a week of using the butter, was that my skin, the sun damage on my skin was like, decreased it probably by about 30%. I was like, whoa, this is amazing.
So even like older, I'm getting older, and during my pregnancy, I had a lot of dark spots on my face. And I noticed that, sun damage too. So
I noticed that it took a lot of that away.
Unsalted butter.
Unsalted butter.
Who would have thought?
Butter, baby, butter.
All the butter. Where's Shay when we need her? Love you, Shay.
Unsalted butter. So that's one of the things that I do as well. After I do my abhyanga, I'll do my chi packing, and I'll get in my lungs.
Awesome.
And I'll do my legs and my butt, and I'll just pack that chi. So, and that's something similar to what we want to do with our skin brushing. I've got my little skin brush here. This one is
And
almost,
it's a dry brush,
it's
right?
a dry brush. Yeah.
So before the oil.
This is what you want to do generally. I do mine before I shower when I'm dry.
Yes.
And if this is too harsh for you, then what works out really well as well is a baby brush.
Oh, okay.
Baby brushes are even finer and softer. And so you're going to be doing some skin brushing, and you kind of want to do towards the heart and circular motions. So I'll do my skin brushing, and this really helps to continue with that exfoliating the skin so you don't get your clogged pores. It helps with circulation. It helps with moving the lymph, which are all really super important things for us to be doing right now. The lymph is really important for us, and there's not a lot of things that really help to move and stimulate that lymph other than really just moving that top lighter layer of the skin. Lymph vessels are very much like, imagine like seaweed in the ocean, and if you have a gentle wave, it really opens the seaweed up. But if you have a big wave coming and crashing down, it mashes that seaweed. So our lymph vessels work similarly to that. So we want to do nice, gentle strokes to help move that lymph.
Right.
And you can even do this on areas that, say, you roll your ankle or you have a swollen knee or something, doing that gentle stroking motion towards the heart. And you can even do little circles, like about the weight of a quarter. And that helps to move that lymph and helps to reduce any sort of swelling that you might have, and get that lymph moving.
Right. Can I ask you something? Some people have actually asked if the dry brushing helps with cellulite.
Yes, it does that as well. Yes, it does. Cool. It also helps with my little, let's see here. Where did I put my dry brushing notes? I had it here. Oh,
skin brushing.
Skin brushing, yeah. So exfoliating increases circulation. It's invigorating and energizing. So it's a great way to start your day off if you're a little groggy. Do your skin brushing. It helps to energize you. Yeah, of course, you're increasing your circulation, increasing your lymph, so you'll be increasing your energy as well. It eliminates toxins from the body, so it's a really good way to get those evening toxins out for the rest of the day. Some of us might be having fun, a little too much fun during our little sip, our shelter in place. Aids in digestion, so that's really good. It's going to help get that digestion moving, help get you that healthy early morning BM that makes us all feel so good and helps us move us through our day.
Shamanic shits.
Yeah, our early our morning race dog.
Right.
It also helps to improve this cellulite reduction, fat deposits, and balances fat deposits. But it can irritate the skin. So like I said, if your skin is more sensitive, go look for those soft baby brushes. Whereas a brush like this might be almost too irritating on the skin. And generally around 2 to 3 times a week. It doesn't have to be every day. For those with softer skin, more irritable skin, try to get yours in at least once a week.
Yeah. Okay.
That's really important.
That makes sense. Cool.
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I want to ask before we move on is how much oil do you use? Because sometimes, a tablespoon goes a long way. Sometimes you need more than that. I have found that the butter that I've been using, like one stick of butter has lasted me almost a month.
Yeah. That's another reason why I love butter is because it just goes for forever. So yeah, I usually only use about a stick of butter a month.
A little goes a long way.
Whereas something more like a lighter oil, say like like a evening primrose or something, which might be really good for, I like to use evening primrose like in my vaginal area because it's really good for that. But you might not go as long. Coconut oil tend to have to use a lot of it. And what I've noticed with butter as well is that the absorptive qualities of it are just amazing. So I usually use a little bit of flaxseed oil and argan oil, and I use a cannabis butter because my body is sore a lot. I work really hard, so.
Now, can I ask you, what if somebody's vegan and they don't want to use butter?
Well, I mean,
another idea.
Technically, you can use a ghee, and all the fats are out of it, but you're still using a source from an animal product.
Yeah.
So I haven't found anything quite as comparable, but you could do
the flaxseed oil,
coconut oil,
argan, you mentioned.
Argan, safflower, castor oil.
Right, the
castor oil is really good.
It's really thick.
It is really thick. So maybe that's something that you would want to do pre-shower. And then not necessarily use, I'm not a big fan of soap anyway. So I use like salt scrubs are a really good way because coconut oil is actually very cleansing for the body. So, but doing a mixture of oils, finding that good blend for you, play around with it, have some fun.
Totally.
Yeah.
With the castor oil, be mindful though that it is so thick that when you do step in the shower, you want to make sure that you have a non-slip pad or something that, or you're sitting in the tub instead of showering because you could slip. So which is being mindful of that.
Which is why it's kind of good to use either with like a salt scrub. That helps to cut it.
Perfect.
So
awesome.
So I'm gonna go now. We're gonna go into some acupressure points and some acupressure protocols. One of the first ones that I want to talk about is Sanjiao, triple burner. We all know about the burners now.
Now, when she does acupressure points on me, not only does she use it with her fingers, but she uses tuning forks as well. So you get the sound healing on those pressure points. So as she's discussing this, think about sound therapy as well.
You can think about the sound, but since most of us don't have access to that, I'm just mostly focusing on what we can do with our fingers and what we can do for ourselves.
Cool.
Sanjiao is also referred to as triple burner. And so the burners in acupuncture, we have our upper burner, which is our lungs and our heart and the three cavities in our body. Our upper cavities, our middle, which is the thorax, and then our thorax, abdomen and pelvis. And so what triple burner is it's responsible for the movement and transformation of various solids and fluids throughout the system, as well for the production and circulation of nourishing energy in our body. So basically this was what everything from our respiratory to the foods and liquids that we intake, the absorption of them, the assimilation of them, and the elimination of them. And so this is kind of, it's kind of important. It's what it's what moves us, and most of us, as living in the stressful lives that we have right now, our triple burners can be in overproduction or underproduction. And so even if someone, like, say you're just having like a freak out, or you have a kid that's having a freak out. These are some
true story.
These are some really simple techniques that you can use to sedate triple warmer.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So triple warmer meridian goes from back behind the ear. I'm gonna go back behind the ear, down along the back, on the back side of the arm. Over the elbow, down the front of the arm, and out the ring finger, the little pinky right there, all the way out the pinky.
Gotcha.
So the easiest way to sedate triple warmer is to follow that triple warmer line. 1, 2,
Awesome.
3. And then the other side.
Oh, that's so calming.
It is. It instantly
Wow.
calms. 1, 2, 3.
It's like the rescue remedy of touch. I love it.
It is. It's a really, really simple way.
Yeah.
Another way that we can sedate triple warmer is in between the pinky and the ring finger, and we can put it on the heart, and we can tap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that helps to calm it down as well. And we can do the other side. And one that I like to do when I'm going to bed, this one's really super easy. Yeah, these are easy, and they're really easy. Like when a kid's having a freak out, you can do both at the same time. And you can just do this. Or at the care home that I work at, we're working with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia. One of them's having a really bad Parkinson's episode or high anxiety. I'll do triple warmer. And going from the top down, it's actually going from the bottom down, but this helps to sedate triple warmer. If you go up, this helps to stimulate triple warmer, which is really good. Say if you're wanting to stimulate the sexual organs, because this also helps with reproduction. It helps with the it helps with regulating the reproductive system as well. So it's a really good way to rev up the reproductive system.
Amp up that estrogen and testosterone.
Ramp it up. And one that I love to do at night before I go to bed, because this is really easy. I'm generally a side sleeper. So you just take your little finger, kind of make it into a beak, and you put it right there on the little notch in between your collarbones at the base of your throat. And then you can just cover the side of your face like this. And then I lie down on my pillow and I just, and I'll just kind of lay like that until I fall asleep generally. But it really does help to calm and sedate the system.
I like that.
So yeah, this is affecting our heart, our lungs, our respiratory system, our stomach, our spleen, our pancreas. So that's the extracting nutrients and distribute them. And then our elimination. So from the pyloric valve to the anus. And that helps with the absorbing of nutrients. So say you're not, absorbing enough nutrients. Say you're having, you just don't feel like you're getting enough of the vitamins and nutrients out of your food. Sedating Sanjiao is going to help to increase your nutrient absorption in your body.
Love that.
Yeah, me too.
Now, I have a question about that, because so many people say that, you can take all these different supplements and superfoods, etc., but your body will only intake a certain amount.
Yeah.
So is there something in particular that you can recommend that would actually increase the absorbability of the supplements and the vitamins that we take?
That would be working with Sanjiao.
Okay.
Because when our body is stressed out, we're not absorbing the nutrients in our body.
And this is a time where a lot of people are going through a lot of stress, and here we are, those of us who are taking more supplements and vitamins, like up the immune system, we're not actually even absorbing all of that.
Yeah, and if we're in a stressed out state, if we're not doing things similar to like nourishing the vagus nerve in our body. So it's really reducing the amount of stress, the amount of lowering our heart rate, taking time to absorb your nutrients, taking time to eat your food, sitting down slowly, chewing your food.
Chewing 50 times, they say?
50, something like that. Something like that. But if you're go, or even if you're in a lethargic state, but you're stressed out, you're not going to be absorbing those nutrients in your body. So if you're having nutrient absorption issues, do Sanjiao a couple times after you eat. you know.
And drinking lots of water. I have found that I've challenged myself to drink a gallon of water a day.
Yeah.
And, you know, you eliminate a lot more, but you're also, you know, getting rid of the toxins and stuff, allowing your body to have higher absorption rate.
Important thing to know, though, is do not drink a lot of water a half an hour before and a half an hour after you eat, because it actually reduces the amount of nutrient absorption in your body. So try to actually.
I don't drink water during.
Try
during
not
my
to
meals.
drink much water during when you're eating, because you're really you are flushing that out, so you're not able to. You know, you're wasting money.
Right. you want the nutrients from the food that you're eating. Yeah. So another thing that's happened too that some people have asked me about to relay to you is just being taxed in our adrenals. Yeah. And like how that affects our body and what we can do to improve that. Yeah.
Well, Sanjiao.
Yes.
That's why I put. That's why I am hitting Sanjiao so much. But you know, doing things like adrenal tea, adrenal herbs, but really it's you know, trying to reduce the amount of EMFs that we're having before we go to bed at night.
So putting your device down an hour before bed or even longer,
and turning your Wi-Fi off.
Right, when you're sleeping. Yeah. There's no reason to have it on.
No, there's no reason to have it on. Yeah.
So true.
You know, there's quick remedies like, you know, licorice root is really good for the adrenals, but you don't really want to be using licorice root as your like mainstay to nourish your adrenals. Okay. There's things like ashwagandha, eleuthero, nettles.
Awesome.
All of those things. Yeah. Like right now, springtime, all these beautiful green bitter plants are coming out, which are so good for our digestion, our adrenals. And you know, spring is a time to be nourishing those parts in your body. And you know, Mother Earth and all of her wisdom really puts out a lot of those things right now. So
it's interesting how the seasons really do provide what our bodies need during that time of year. Yeah. You know, the spring flowers and the certain, you know, you brought in certain flowers, and we started reading what some of them meant, and we're like, oh my gosh, it's exactly what I needed to hear right now. Yeah. And then in the winter too, like going deep into the root vegetables and the thicker, heavier, carbier, you know, to keep your body warm because it's processing it more, so it creates more body heat. So you stay warmer in the winter, cold months. I mean, it just makes perfect sense. Yeah. Did you? I know you want to move on, but did you want to speak to that a little bit and just?
Well,
if anything,
I was gonna kind of go back to that because I'm doing more of like the acupressure stuff, and then I was gonna do more of the herbs, and plants, and flowers at the end. Perfect. So,
however you want to flow, darling.
So I also wanted to hit on triple burner as how scientists really think that it's tied in connection with the hypothalamus, which is the part of our brain that regulates appetite, digestion, fluid balance, body temperature, which you know, some of us are kind of dealing with a lot of hot flashes or heating right now, or fevers, things like that. So this helps to regulate that body temperature, heartbeat, blood pressure, and
that's again the triple burner.
Yeah. Okay. This is all triple burner, and it also helps to move the chi and lift depression due to stagnation. Awesome. So some of us have been, you know, living some stagnant lives because we're stuck inside. We don't really feel comfortable going out. So triple burner is a really, really good way to help move that stagnation. And that's what springtime is. It's about moving the stagnation from the winter, from us hibernating. And so we're waking up. And you know, as with the other practices that I talked about with the skin, that's really going to help move that stagnation, help move that chi, help move that blood, our lymph, our circulatory system, all the things that we need to have, you know, help protect our body. Yeah. Keep it at, you know, not just our immune system, but these other things are, you know, deeply intertwined with how well our immune system works.
Mm-hmm.
And so if our blood is stagnant, if our lymph is stagnant, if our skin is chapped and broken, you know, all of these things leave ourselves open to, you know, disease and potential of getting them. So we have, you know, our energetic protective shield that we can create, but also, you know, creating a really good shield, maintaining our shield around our bodies, which is our skin.
Our skin, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. So along with our skin and our organs, I wanted to talk about a muscle in our body that's really, really important to nourish on the daily, and most of us don't even think about it, which is our diaphragm. And our diaphragm is what separates our lungs from our thorax from our abdomen, our lungs from our digestive organs. And it's this really cool muscle that it kind of reminds me of like the top of a jellyfish. And it attaches to our rib cage here, around and over the spine. So it's this flat kind of, well, domed muscle. And it can really get stuck and trapped, especially if we've dealt with any trauma, because grief, as some of you may know, grief is where we hold our lungs is where we hold our grief. And when we have trauma, it also gets collected into our diaphragm. And so exercising the diaphragm is really super important to increase our lung capacity, to increase the amount of oxygen, oxygenating our blood. And it can kind of get locked down. And so I like to do belly breathing is what's really super important. And some of us, you know, most of us when we're younger, we don't want our belly to go in and out, and we want to, you know, look all skinny. And so then we tighten our diaphragm even more. And then we're not breathing from our belly, which is honestly how we should be breathing. Well, more of like a wave. But a lot of us, you know, just only breathe through our chest because we don't want our belly to stick out. And it kind of trains our diaphragm to be shortened and tight. And then that reduces our lung capacity, which, you know, it's our lungs are really, really important organs right now to help maintain and take care of. And so I'm going to just show you a way to breathe. It's a very simple way to breathe that you can stimulate and nourish your diaphragm. And so you'll want to lay on your back, and I'm going to pretend to lay on my back, and with your knees up, and then one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And what you're going to want to do is try to get your hand to move instead of your hand on your belly to move instead of your hand on your chest to move when you breathe. So I hope you can see.
I can see.
And then when I breathe out, I'm going to have my lips pursed, and I'm going to breathe out. And really tighten and squeeze those organs as I push out through my breath. And doing this is going to help strengthen your diaphragm. And when you have a really strong diaphragm, your breathing rate will slow down. It'll help decrease your oxygen demand, and you'll have to use less effort to breathe. So all of these are really important things that we need right now. Besides our skin as being one of our biggest defenses to protect us, our breath is as well. And the stronger our breath is, the more that we are able to protect our beautiful sacred bodies. And another little massage that I like to do to help release my diaphragm. And sometimes we'll get like little belly pains or something like that, especially if we're exercising. And so I like to just stick my fingers up underneath my rib cage, and I'll take an in breath, and then on my out breath, I'll just kind of pull my ribs out a little bit. And you can kind of get your fingers up in there, and you can almost, you'll feel tightness here or there. And wherever you feel a tightness, you can just kind of, and if you need to lean over on it, you can. But most of us are really tight in our diaphragm. And so then you can lift up, and you can get that all opened and stretched out. And it's really nice to get in there and get that diaphragm nice and opened up.
Yeah.
And another way that I like to stimulate my diaphragm is every morning when I'm brushing my teeth, I'll just stick my toothbrush back there a little extra and give myself a good gag reflex in the morning.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I had a massage teacher that was really, really into stimulating his diaphragm that way. And he said that all of, the negative energy that you've had, maybe you've had some bad dreams or whatever like that, it just helps to kind of purge it out before you start your day. So I always give myself a good gag in the morning. Little and just gag it all out.
I mean, I can even feel it. Even when you stimulate it, it's like you can.
Yeah, it just kind of gets it all out. Gets all that hoocha right out.
I love it.
So yeah, that is our diaphragm, and our diaphragm is regulated by the phrenic nerve, which comes out of our neck and down into our stomachs, and so that's a really good way to kind of get that whole thing just moving and get our respiratory system, a way that we can help our lungs. Our diaphragm is an ally to our lungs, and so that's how we can help out our diaphragm and in turn help our.
Wonderful.
So so I'm just going to go over some basic acupressure points right now. I call them my emergency acupressure points. Little ones that everybody should know that help to just help us. I mean, we're kind of like a computer with how we have these little points in our bodies that can help stimulate and sedate different aspects inside of our bodies. And so I tend to hit these as well when I'm doing my morning oil or my morning oiling. I also do them at night when I have a little bit of extra time before I'm going to bed. So first one is kidney 1, which is right here. If you bend your foot down, it's just the soft point right there at the base and right in the middle of the foot.
That one. It's so nice.
And kidney 1 is just great. I mean, it's really good for helping us ground out.
Yeah.
It's just a really good point. It helps to bring our soul into our physical body. So if we've been really, say we're doing a meditation or really super out there, like this is a great point to just bring yourself back into reality. And it's a nice point that I like to hit on kids too when they're having, let's say they're having a hard time, they're having a little freak out.
A little
meltdown.
Another one.
This is another really good one to just help bring them back into their body.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. And it's also really good to help nourish the yin energy in our body. Our kidneys, all of our yin organs in our body are the soft, spongy organs. So kidney, liver, spleen, the yang organs are more the hollow tubed ones. So our digestive organs, our intestines, our stomach, the heart and the lungs are both.
Right, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So another one that I hit often, and so if you don't want to be, if it's sometimes you feel like you can't get enough pressure in there, and so how you want to do to stimulate your acupressure points is you can either it's the going like this. So you don't want to just hold on to it.
Mm-hmm.
Say I'm doing lung point right here. You don't want to just hold on it. You actually want to stimulate it. So you either want to do multiple up and down, or you can do tapping. And tapping helps really well. And so sometimes I can't press into my stomach point. Stomach 36, this is a really good one. So it's from the kneecap down right into the little like knob and then over right there. And so this is stomach 36. And stomach 36 is the largest chi building point in the body. And so if you're tired, this is going to help give you energy. So much better than doing something that's going to be stressful on your adrenals, like drinking caffeine or stimulants. Like this is a really, really, really good way to help to energize the body. What I also love about stomach 36 is it helps with any sort of nausea or vomiting.
Oh, okay.
So if you're vomiting, hit this point and you'll stop. You really will. You can tap this point. When I'm driving and sometimes I'm driving and I'm almost falling asleep on the wheel, and I'll just sit there and I'll tap stomach 36, and that will really help wake me up. Sometimes I drive a lot. Sometimes we drive a lot. We're coming back from a place where we're tired because we've had too much fun. This is a really good point to, this is also really good for increasing your yang. Helps to decrease depression and psychosis or madness. So sometimes we might be dealing with some psychosis and madness right now, being stuck in our houses all by ourselves. So this is a really good point to stimulate stomach 36. Yep. If you're having a hard time, hit up stomach 36.
It just sounds like an everyday point to me.
It also helps to stop pain.
Wow.
And
it's an all-encompassing one, isn't
it
it?
helps to tonify chi and blood and just general wellness. Yeah, this is a great point to know. This is why I love, these are the ones that I'm going over, just like ones I kind of hit every day, just because they're so good for the general well-being of my body. Another one that I want to go over is small intestine points, especially around small intestine 11. Small intestine 11 is a really good point that we can do for ourselves. And so this is the heavenly ancestors. And it actually is a point that is supposed to connect you to all of the ancestors of all of your ancestors and all of the wisdom that your ancestors carry. And it's also a good way to just give yourself a hug. And since we aren't really dealing with we don't get a lot of touch.
Some people don't get it.
Some people don't get that touch. And so this is also the strongest point in the body to clean out impurities of the mind and spirit.
Impurities of the mind and spirit.
So you have your little ridge right there on your shoulder blades, and it's just the divot. It's the little divot right down below. Right there. And if this is also, if this point is puffy, it could mean that you have some sort of, it's a cancer telling point.
Interesting.
So you want to make sure, and so you want to stimulate that point, and you can also push it, and it really is, it kind of gives you this feeling of like
being held by the ancestors.
Being held by the ancestors.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, and a
if
lot
you're watching, I recommend doing it right now.
And small intestine points are pretty much this whole shoulder blade up and down and around really have a lot to do with the wisdom of our ancestors, kind of facing our future and facing our fears. So if you're going through a time where you really don't know where you're going to be going, going through a bit of a spiritual evolution, these are really good points to push on yourself all around these shoulder points, because it really helps to feel like you got some back, that somebody's backing you up.
I feel like that's what so many of us are going through
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
You're not alone.
Time of uncertainty
Yeah.
and we need to be reminded that we're not alone.
Yeah,
that
we're not alone. You got
hug
generations.
ourselves
You got
and
generations
have
of
that-
people that love you right behind you
I
all
love
the
it.
time.
I love it. I love it.
So I really love that. It's the wisdom of our ancestors. You know, the heavenly gathering of ancestors is what it's called, and I really love that one. Another one that I want to point out is the Yin Valley, and this is this most nourishing yin point in the body, and it's kidney point, and it is just that little divot around below my bruises here, but and above them as well. It's this little divot, in the back of your knee,
on the inside.
Yep. And this point is it helps to clear damp heat from the lower part of the body. So say you're having a lot of diarrhea or things like that, or maybe a yeast infection or something like that. This is going to really help to clear that out. And it's also just going to help relax you. This is a really good point to help to just relax the body. And it benefits the kidneys, and it helps to alleviate pain as well.
And it's on both sides, both legs?
Yeah. All the meridian points run on both sides of the body. And another one that I want to point out is kidney 3, which is, which way is the best way to do this one? Kidney 3, and it's just right here on the back side
right behind the ankle.
Right behind the ankle bone.
On the inside.
On the inside. And it's meridian points are really interesting because you'll run your finger along it, and all of a sudden it'll go into this little hole. Yeah. And most kidney points, or most meridian points, are like that. And so this point is really good for any sort of uterine pain that you're having. If for women, if you're having, cramps or fibromyalgia or things like that, this point is going to be really good out. And if you're, so this is a good ovarian cysts. This is a really good point to stimulate. And it might be very tender.
Yeah,
for most people.
Is it also one of the spots that you technically can't massage when you're in late pregnancy?
Yes, you want to
go into labor.
You want to stay away from this point if you're pregnant.
Yes. Yeah. Just a reminder.
This point is also really good for the adrenals. So you can stimulate this point to help with your adrenals. Okay. It's staying grounded while expanding into new realms, which is one of the other reasons why I wanted to hit on this point, because we need to stay grounded during this time. Yeah. Even though we're expanding and, increasing our energetic bubbles.
Revealing our vastness.
But we also need to stay grounded. It's really important to stay grounded as well. Where are we running on time? I'm just curious.
We are definitely about 15 minutes away. Okay. So maybe we can move on to the herbals.
I just wanted to hit one more thing, and that's our grief points.
Oh, yeah.
Many of us are dealing with a lot of grief right now. Past grief, losing people that we love, and current grief that we're going through right now. So there's 3 major grief points in the body, and one of them is right here, kind of in the divot, not quite right there, but a little bit over from there. And this is a good point to stimulate when you're feeling sad. So it's
below the clavicle.
Yeah, below the clavicle.
Before the armpit.
Before the armpit. Yeah, right there. And then there's 2 on the feet. And these are kind of right where, strangely enough, where the lungs are in reflexology as well. But you can go up about an inch from in between the big toe and the next toe over, and you'll feel that divot there. Yep. And that's a really good grief releasing point, as well as And this one you want to stay away from if you're pregnant as well. But this point right here, and it's about an inch up from in between the pinky and the third toe, fourth toe in. And you just stimulate that point. And these are really good grief points. These are going to help relieve that grief. And that if you happen to be dealing with some grief.
Yeah.
So there we go.
I feel like it's in the collective right now anyway. Even though I haven't had a personal loss due to the situation right now, it's definitely in the collective field and moving through that holy roller coaster of up and down. And so thank you for that. I appreciate it.
And also nourishing your lungs. This is your lung meridian. And so just, you can it's okay to just stroke your body a couple times a day. It's totally okay.
It, darling.
It's okay to stroke that body. And one that I want to hit on as well is
so nice.
There's a lung point right here that's just down at the base before the bicep and below the deltoid. And these are our Akashic record points. So these are the points
tapping into that a lot
that we need to tap into. And if we, I also hit this point if I'm learning something, I don't want to forget it. I'll hit this point. It's a good remembering point as well.
So when you're studying something that you really want to embody and remember.
It's like your little download button.
Love that.
Download.
Yes. Oh, I'm going to be pressing that a lot more now. Thank you for that one. You got the ancestors, got your back.
Got your back.
And you got the Akashic record connection. Transmission.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
So yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh, zodiac or liver 3. That's this one as well. One of these 3 points.
Yeah.
This is really good for headache, tension, headache, stuck, PMS. Taking it in stride. These are good. Taking it and just think of your feet in stride. And remember, I can take it in stride. Just push that liver 3 right there. That's a really good point to push.
Awesome.
So
thank you.
Yeah.
I so appreciate all the acupressure points. I mean, when she works on me, it's just like, whoo, and then when she taps into those points too with the tuning forks, and you get the vibration of the sound of the tuning forks too. It's just very powerful. And
I was gonna say one of the things that you could do if you don't have tuning forks, you can do singing bowls on these points. Lots of people have singing bowls at home, and you can. You can lay down, you can put them on your shoulder, you can put them on top of your feet, you can lay sideways and put that singing bowl there on stomach 36.
Could it be any musical instrument too? Like if you put a drum against it and,
I've never played with
drums,
but bells also work. Vibration, bells work really well too. You can do like a little bell and strike it and then go close to where the point is and then draw it out, pull the bell out so that you help draw that energy out. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. But drums work.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything that has a vibration or movement.
Right.
That's why you want to do that pressing or tapping because you want to create that signal, that signal that's going into the nervous system, into the brain and back out.
So you're not just holding, you're stimulating.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, I know that you have such a wealth of knowledge as far as herbal and nutrition, and we really tapped in during the meditation with Mother Earth and all that she provides. And I'll call Kumi and be like, this is going on with me, and I'm just not sure. And she'll be like, oh, drink this tea and take this mushroom, and and I was just like, and like 5 days later, it's gone. It's just, she's amazing like that. So I want to make sure that we share with you how you can reach this woman before we move into our herbal section of the call.
Oh, yeah.
Email address, whatever.
Kumara Peterson.
Okay.
KUMARAPETERSEN @gmail.com. You can email me there. You can also find me on Facebook, Kumara Beja Flor Ish. You can private message me. yeah, that's how
Yeah.
you can get a hold of me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're in the North Bay, Sonoma County area, she is very open to house calls and
Consultations.
Mhm.
I'm really open to
Over the phone,
consultations
too.
over the phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's just a healer on all levels. So it doesn't have to just be body and touch and massage and
Yeah.
acupressure.
Yeah.
She's got a wealth of knowledge. So let's dive into the herbs for a minute and see. We started a little later because of
Yeah.
our technical difficulties. So I'd say we got about 12, 15 minutes left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of the ones that has been calling out to me super hard because it started blooming this last week
Yep.
is
Yep.
the bane of some people's existence, Scotch broom.
Mm-hmm.
And this plant it can be very detrimental to some people, especially if they have an allergenic reaction to it, allergic reaction to it. But Scotch broom medicine is really amazing. It's really good for the heart, and for me, I really like to. I like to. The flowers are what is calling me the most of it. And I remember looking it up a few years ago, and I was like, oh, that's exactly really pertinent to what we're dealing with right now. And when it started blooming again this year, I was like, I remember something about it, but I can't exactly remember what, but I know it's important. So I looked it up. And Scotch broom helps to bring positive and optimistic feelings about future events, a sun-like force of action, connection to the true world. Disheartened and depressed, overcome with pessimism and despair, especially regarding one's personal relationship to the world events. So
wow,
yeah.
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's what Scotch broom does right now. Can I eat it?
So the
doesn't
flowers
have much scent to it.
No, the flowers. But it does have a lot of pollen. But I'm not going to explain how to do a flower essence, but you can look up that online. But Scotch broom is blooming everywhere right now, and I highly suggest making a flower essence out of it. I'm going to be making a flower essence out of it this next week. If you want to order some from me,
oh, there you go. That's a great idea.
You can connect in with me and get some.
Yeah, and hydrosols too, right?
Hydrosol as well. It's the flower, mostly the pods and the greener parts of it tend to have more of a diuretic, and similar to like a digitalis almost in some way. It was used a lot for stimulating the heart, and it can bring on heart palpitations and sweating. So you definitely don't want to overdo on Scotch broom.
Yeah.
But the flowers, even having the flowers around you, picking some of them and having them around you, it's the essence of the flowers that are really helping the real medicine that I'm talking about that we want to connect in with right now.
Yeah. And then you brought.
And I brought some calendula and some California poppies. California poppies, it encourages our soul to feel at home in our body. And it really helps to connect us with the earth. So California poppies, all this yellow and orange flowers that are blooming right now, again, good for the solar plexus, good for the diaphragm, good for our will. We need to be strong and empowered right now and not feel sad and like we're losing control of what's going on in our life in this world. And so all this yellow and orange medicine right now is like really,
it's
really
chromotherapy too.
Yeah,
it's the color therapy of orange
therapy.
And yellow. It's like happiness and friendship.
We got to build our will. We got to keep our willpower strong, our will strong right now. And calendula, of course, amazing antiviral. You could add some calendula to your abhyanga oil if you felt like it, felt so called to it. It'll be another good protector for increasing your flesh shield.
I always smell it in the tea, so it's so lovely to actually smell it fresh. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I mean, I drink a lot of calendula tea.
Yeah.
And chamomile and others.
Yeah.
So
they're kind of getting closed up because it's nighttime.
Yeah.
Getting to be nighttime.
Going to bed.
Going around and looking at those flowers that are just, what plants do you have around you that you keeping our expenses low? What do we have available? What is Mother Earth's bounty giving unto us right now? Nettles are coming out. Nettles are just so great for everything in our body, but respiratory, blood builders, they're just, they're tonifiers. So go out and get some nettles going, get some of them nettle action. Make sure you wear gloves.
Right. Yeah, they're called stinging nettles for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, even though I do love to whap myself with a stinging nettle or two every now and then.
So it wakes you up, right?
It does. It gives you a really good energy.
I was like, we were at an event, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm just slapping nettles. I'm tired. I need to wake up. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It's really good.
No,
it works. You got to whap a lot, though. You can't just do one area.
Right.
You got to, whap the whole body. Because then it just, adrenaline rushes the system.
Right. So, okay, so let me ask you. A lot of, plants will have, say, for instance, poison oak.
Yeah.
And we call it oak ivy.
Yeah.
If you don't call it poison oak, it will hopefully not affect you as
Forest
much.
protector.
Right. But the antidote to it usually grows right next to it.
Yeah.
And that's the case with a lot of plants.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about that?
Well, yeah, if you're out, on your forest hike or picking your wildflowers and you happen to come across some forest protector, that's what I call it. Chickweed is growing abundantly right now. And it really only pops off in the spring, but usually that's when we're the least aware of the forest protector growing around it. So the mucus, the mucilage from the chickweed helps to nullify the forest protector. And so what you do is you mash up the chickweed and you can rub it on your skin, and that will nullify
stop it from itching.
The alkaloids and breaking out. Another one that I have used and it works very, very well is manzanita.
Right.
So you manzanita doesn't grow everywhere. It's generally in more higher, drier areas, but you can always find a patch somewhere around you in Northern California. And so you want to take the tip 3 leaves. I'll just go take some scissors and I'll clip off a whole bunch of the tips of the leaves and just a little bit, that first maybe inch of the branch.
Okay. And
then I do a decoction of that. So I'll boil it for a good 15 to 20 minutes and strain it. And then as warm as I can handle on my skin, I'll put a rag. And I've only ever had to do this once because
like a poultice.
Well, you take a rag that you don't necessarily are going to want to use again because it's going to pull that.
Okay.
Poison oak. Pull it out.
Oil out.
Yeah, it's going to pull the oil out of you. And so an old T-shirt or something like that, you soak it in there as warm as you can handle, and then you put it on the affected area and you try to do that 1 to 3 times. And I only ever had to do 1 application on it, and it just dried it up instantly. But if you are very allergic to it, you might have to do more than that. And I suggest also washing your clothes if you were wearing long pants or something like that, wash your clothes in it as well, and it's going to help pull those oils out.
Awesome.
2 other plants that I really want to talk about that are amazing for the respiratory system is elecampane. I talk about elecampane, elephant champagne.
Yeah, we just got some. We have 3 plants now in our greenhouse.
And you can get the seeds, or you can get a plant. You can grow it. It's a very easy plant to grow. It grows a lot like a big sunflower, but it's much smaller blossom to it. And but it does get big. It gets around 8 to 10 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
And you do want to plant it in a fairly, large pot, maybe a 5-gallon or bigger. And it takes 2 to 3 years to harvest. So while, it's a prolonged thing, you can always order or get a tincture of it online or at your local store. It's pretty easy to get. It's elecampane. P-A-N-E, elecampane. And this is really amazing for the respiratory system. It helps to drive all the mucus in the sinuses as well. So if you're dealing with seasonal allergies or that type of thing, it's going to help dry those sinuses up instantly. We got a guest star.
Special guest star.
So I'll use it. I get really bad mold allergies in the fall, and so I'll dose on elecampane, and it's better than any antihistamine that I've ever used. And it's very good for the respiratory system. It's really helps to bolster the respiratory system.
I'll finish the call yet.
In England during the Industrial Revolution, when there was so much soot and pollutants in the air, they would take the roots. It's the roots of it that you want, and they would take the roots and candy the roots, almost like crystallized ginger. And that would be the little candy that they would eat at night before they go to bed, so they could actually breathe while they were sleeping at night. So elecampane is a really amazing ally right now. Another one that I absolutely love and is very little known about is Kikadizzy or Mountain Misery. And I'm trying to get a hookup on some Kikadizzy right now, since it's been really cold in the Sierras this year, and the snow is just starting to melt. But Kikadizzy only grows on the western slopes of the Sierra Nevadas, and it's this sprawling kind of chaparral smelling plant. It has a very pungent odor to it, and it pretty much grows like a weed, and a lot of people don't like it because of that. But it is amazing for the respiratory system, and it's a massive antiviral as well. And the Miwoks, the Native Americans that lived around there, would use it for things like chickenpox and measles, and any sort of like shingles. Okay. So it's massively antiviral, extremely good for the respiratory system, good for that dry hacking cough. Yeah. And
where can you find that now?
You would either have to go and forage it, or I have a friend that's going to go and pick me some here pretty soon, and hopefully I'll hear back from them, and I'm going to have them pick me as much as possible. So if you need some Kikadizzy, get a hold of me, and I'll get some sent to you. Okay. So, and you can make a really strong tea out of that, and drink it a few times a day, and it's real awesome. I made a hydrosol out of it a few years ago, and I had a friend who had a staph infection from a tattoo she got when she was in Hawaii. And she just sprayed the Kikadizzy on it, the Kikadizzy hydrosol, and it cleared it up in about 2 or 3 days. Wow. So powerful stuff. It's powerful stuff, and it's a really amazing ally right now, and nobody really knows about it, and it's not, it's not like OSHA root or anything that you have to worry about harvesting over harvesting, because it grows like grows prolific. So yeah, it's a really amazing ally right now, and awesome. I'll try to get my hands on it and get it out, because I've been talking about that plant for several years now, and I think it's her time to shine. Yeah. So wonderful. Yeah. Oh. Well, thank you so much. Yeah. I really appreciate all your knowledge. Yeah. And you just literally, I mean, I consider you one of my medicine women. Like, yeah. And not just in this life. Yeah. We've had experiences before, and they're becoming more clear too. Yeah. It's quite fun to realize that together. So Kumara is totally available. However you'd like to reach out to her through the internet, the email address that she gave, and Facebook. You want to give it once more? Oh, it's Kumara Petersen, KUMARAPETERSEN @gmail.com. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yay. And we'll make sure that we link her name to the bottom of this video on the Facebook page once we post it. And again, I just want to thank you so much for offering these healthy living essentials, acupressure points,
the
Oil,
oiling, the
Yep.
body brushing, yes,
Yep.
and all the
Take care of your flesh shield.
The flesh shield is important for these 3D bodies,
yeah,
right?
it is.
Talking about developing our light bodies and moving into the fifth dimension, and we still need to care for these 3D bodies too, because they're fragile and they need to be cared for.
Yep, they do.
So yeah.
And that's part of, I think, our biggest, one of our biggest challenges here on Earth in these 3D bodies is learning how to care for them. And once we learn how to care for them, we can excel. We can excel so much more when we don't have to be tied down in pain and dis-ease. It allows the mind to be able to expand into new realms. I really know that from my own personal experience. So take care of your bodies.
And knowing that we can heal pretty much anything ourselves. We are resilient human beings, and we have plant kingdom allies that are here for Mother Earth to provide to us so that we can actually utilize them and become more knowledgeable on how to use them. So if you have any more questions for her, or you'd like to book a session with her, whether over the phone or in person, please reach out to her.
Yeah, reach out to me. Yeah.
Thank you. And once again, I'm Anistara, and my email address is anistara1111@gmail.com. So much appreciated. We love you all so much.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you, Shimoni.
I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got some good benefits out of it. And
so much, so much.
Due to some
Thank
technical
you.
difficulties,
I'm dealing with the worst.
We're
That's
gonna
okay.
say goodbye,
I'm
and then
dealing
we'll
with
take
the
your
worst
questions.
case
Yeah.
ever.
what?
Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait, hold on one second.
Okay.
We're going to say goodbye to everyone. Due to technical difficulties earlier, we started late and we haven't had time to open the call up to Q&A. So go ahead and comment on the video with your questions, and Kumara will respond and give you suggestions on what you can do. So until next week.
Awesome.
Love
Okay,
you
thank
so
you,
much.
guys.